said, a certain man had two sons. And the younger of them is said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me. And he divided unto them his living. And not many days after the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living.
Yeah.
And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in the land, and he began to be in want. And he went and journeyed himself to a citizen of the country, and he sent him into the field to feed swine. And he was fain and had filled his belly with the husk that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. And when he came to himself, he said, How many hired servants of my father had bread enough to spare, and I perish with hunger. I will arise and go to my father, and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against thee. I have sinned against heaven and before thee. Our focal verse today will be chapter 17. Verse 17. And when he came to himself, he said, How many hired servants of my father have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger? I've heard my boy John say this a couple times, and I hope he don't mind me using it as my sermon text today. I like to speak from the subject. Get your mind right.
Yeah.
All right. Get your mind right. There's a familiar saying that goes something like this. Watch your thoughts, for they become words. Watch your words, for they become actions. Watch your actions, because they become habits. Watch your habits, because they become your character. And watch your character, because it becomes your destiny.
Well,
let me simply paraphrase that. It simply is saying, watch what you think about.
Well,
what you think about, you're eventually going to say.
All right.
He said, watch what you say, because what you say you're eventually going to do.
Well,
and he said, watch what you do, because you may mess around and start to do it over and over again.
All right.
And you do it over and over again, it becomes who you are.
Well,
watch who you are, because it determines your destiny.
Yes.
It determines the place that you're going to end up.
Yes.
You simply have to believe where you're going to end up in life is a direct correlation to the thoughts you have.
Yeah.
There are thoughts. There is power in our thoughts.
All right.
As we go through life, you make many decisions. There are decisions that you made today. You made the decision to wear what you were going to wear today. That was the decision you made based on a thought. You made the decision to sit where you sat today. That was the decision based on a thought. There are a lot of variables that go into your decisions, but they all come from simple thoughts.
All right. Yeah.
And the thoughts that we have a whole lot of power.
Well,
Thinking down read earlier in our scripture reading about Jesus, who thought it not robbery to be equal unto God. But because he not only thought it not robbery to be equal unto God, Jesus thought about us. Because Jesus thought about us, he took on the likeness of man. And because he took on the likeness of man, he died for our sins. He talked about the pain and the suffering that Jesus endured through his life. But I'm here to tell you, Jesus went through what he went through simply because he was thinking about you.
all right.
Jesus thought in his mind that there's a people who need me. There's a person who needs me. There's a man or a woman or a child who needs me. I'm thinking about that person. And because of my thoughts, I'm going to make these decisions. And I'm so glad Jesus thought about me.
All right.
Our thoughts have power. Our thoughts are a direct or an indirect correlation to where we will end up.
Yes, Lord.
Looking in our text today, we find the text of the prodigal son. And Jesus is making this parable as we swiftly move in. Where the prodigal son ends up is a direct correlation to what decisions he had made.
Yeah.
Beginning in verse 11, Jesus says, and he said